Good evening, butterflies. I am hurt and disappointed by something that's kind of been going around on the internet. And in today's video, I want to talk about the I'm no longer vegan videos that have come out from two YouTube creators that I have loved, followed, trusted, and respected for so many years. And even if you don't know who Rawvana, Yovana, or Alyse from Raw Alignment are, I feel that this video is still really important because we're also going to talk about intention and how to know if you're being ripped off or what someone's intention behind either what they're selling or what they're speaking is, so that you can make informed decisions as a human who is part of different communities and has psychology working on you all the time, and kind of how to protect yourself, because I feel that this cult following that's happening in the internet is not always good. And I also want to share some of the YouTubers that I follow and support, and some of the reasons why. So to catch everybody up to speed, this is a little bit different than my regular videos, but if you've followed my channel, you know that I've struggled with acne since I was young, and it consumed my life physically and emotionally. And after going vegan, I noticed huge changes in not only my entire body, but in my skin. And it was because of a video by a man named Gary Yourofsky that changed my life. Literally in just over an hour, I never would have expected my life to change. I was dealing with stomach issues. I looked like I was pregnant. I've shown you photos and videos of that before. I was cast as a maternity model, and acne had taken over my life. And by going vegan, it was something that I did because it aligned with the morals and values. I was naive before that, and I made a choice that ended up benefiting me personally in amazing ways. And, 5 years ago, 4.5 years ago, when I went vegan, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know who to follow. I couldn't find other girls like me in my own life who I could share this experience with. And there were two girls, Yovana from Rawvana and Alyse from Raw Alignment, who really shared a lot of the same ideas that I did, who were both vegan. Both of them were very raw, and they both liked eco-friendly things and cruelty-free beauty and staying fit and healthy and trying to live their most vibrant life. And that was something that I resonated with so strongly. And as you know, if you've watched this channel for any amount of time, I try my best to help others live beautifully inside and out, because I believe that if we understand what's in our food and if we understand what's in our skincare, we can make positive choices for ourselves. Now, I've watched both of their videos explaining they're not vegan anymore, and this has been really painful for me as someone who has followed them, looked up to them, purchased their merch, supported them in so many different ways for so many years. And I want to discuss why this is different between them doing it versus just, oh, Jenny from the block decided she's not vegan anymore. And I guess kind of the power of influence that a lot of people don't realize they have. And you as a viewer, what is the power of influence that's being put upon you? So, I don't think people should be attacking them because they switched from being vegan to not being vegan. Most people, if you are vegan or vegetarian, you probably weren't born like that. There was a time where you didn't know better or you didn't make a certain choice and you decided to eat a certain way. Mi padre nació en Argentina, and because of our Latin influence, because my father was born in Argentina, it's something that he loves meat and cheese. And that's not something that he has been willing to change, which of course hurts me, but does that mean I won't hug him or embrace him? Of course not. So I don't think that it's smart to come at these people from a place of anger or pain. The reason they said they are no longer vegan was because of health issues that they felt weren't working for them anymore. And while I understand that, and while I think that you should prioritize your health, because if you can't fill up your own cup, you can't overflow into other people's lives, I also feel like it was very deceptive the way it was done. It was also, Rawvana was basically exposed, and then she was like, oh, made a mistake. And then the day after, Alyse is like, before this bites me in the ass, let me just come out and say these things. And as someone who has followed them, I feel that it is important, if from anyone who has a sense of influence, to understand the impact that you have on that community. Something Alyse said is that her brand was not built on veganism. It was built on, she didn't really say what it was built on, but it wasn't built on veganism, apparently. But veganism became such a strong part of that brand that, I don't think it should be a surprise that so many people feel the same way I do, hurt and disrupted. this is merch that I've purchased. I've bought her coloring books. Like, I've supported in so many different ways. And now I feel conflicted wearing these things because I no longer know the message that I'm spreading. And again, we shouldn't be demonizing these people. If they had health issues, they should 100% go after what is going to make them feel better. But I also feel that wasn't done in a responsible way. For instance, Alyse was talking about biohacking, which, by the way, is the biggest marketing term in diet that you can talk about right now. So if you want to get ripped off, Google biohacking. Alyse was also talking about how the brain runs on omega fatty acids. Not true. While omega fatty acids are essential, the brain, all of your cells are made of PUFAs, and those could be from different sources, and the brain runs on carbohydrates, which is why you cannot survive off of a pure fat diet, and even pure protein, your body breaks it down into carbohydrates so that your brain can use them, and it's just like, this is what pisses me off about the internet. The internet is not a library, it is a dumpster, and unsubstantiated medical claims are not cool. And if you're sharing your opinion, that's fine, but cite your sources. And I think that for someone who even I looked up to and followed the recipes of for so long, it comes as a huge blow because this is a community that we believed in, and now we don't know where we fit into that anymore. It's kind of an identity thing. Like YouTube, when I was struggling with acne at its worst, the reason I followed Candy Johnson and X Sparkage is because I felt like I could connect with these girls when I couldn't even leave my bedroom door because I was afraid to go to the breakfast table in the morning and have my parents see my skin because I thought that I was a waste of air because I was so ugly, thinking that my looks were the only thing that mattered, right? And when it comes to Rawvana and, these girls online, I felt like I had a community there. I felt like there were other people who could understand, and could give me advice when it comes to recipes or when it comes to healthy, vibrant living. And I feel like, especially over the past year or so, or I guess maybe the past 6 months, that hasn't really been accurate, but I've found other ways to balance myself and continue learning and growing. That's what I have to do as a human. But hearing that these people made an oopsie and decided to just kind of flop and decide, oh, not vegan anymore. It comes as a disappointment to me, as a hurt more than anything else. And I think that a lot of other people reflect that. And I also want to talk about like why this is an issue and how morals and values get woven into intention. When we look at people, we all have an intention. Sometimes I don't think it's good to label things good or bad, but sometimes our intentions are self-serving or sometimes they are globally serving. And as someone who is consuming content, as someone who is consuming products, as someone who is going through your life, you need to ask yourself, what's in it for this other person? And whether this other person knows it or not, what is their intention? And specifically when we look at Raw Alignment or at Rawvana, both of these girls have been beautifully open and visceral about coming from a background of eating disorders or of self-harm. And as someone who has struggled with self-image and hurting myself, like I could connect a lot with that. And they said that veganism absolutely transformed their lives because instead of restricting everything they eat, they could finally eat freely and do something better for themselves, the body, the planet, and the animals. But when you also look at it, that also was very, it started off in a place that was about chasing perfection or chasing the next thing and finding something that works. And I think that that is not a problem. But when you see this as compared to someone like Bite Size Vegan or Gary Yourofsky, people who come at things a little bit differently, or even Mike the Vegan or, gosh, who else? There's another set of bloggers that I can't remember, but Mike the Vegan, obviously. Oh God, Dr. Greger from nutritionfacts.org. When they come at it from a medical or, scientific standpoint, it comes differently because it's no longer, just about me. This is about the health and wellness of others, or it's about the health of our planet or about the animals. For me, I couldn't imagine eating an animal because of what that meant for an animal. Now I get that for Alyse and for Yovana, that might be different. But again, they just kind of flipped overnight as opposed to exploring all of their options. I get that Yovana could have taken antibiotics. I get that Alyse says that there are, obviously plant-based sources of omegas, which is true. But like, at least for me, if I'm struggling with something, I come here on the internet and I'm like, hey guys, what do you recommend? Has anyone dealt with this? You've seen it in my posts, and I feel like other people do that as well. And they used to do that, but this is like the one place where they haven't done that. And I feel that it's a little bit deceptive, and it's like, it's heartbreaking more than anything else. And I think that this is me trying to verbalize and express my pain and my distrust and discomfort because of that. But ask yourself what the intentions of people are. And if they come from this background of chasing one fad or the other, are they just on to the next fad? Biohacking is a marketing term that is so tightly linked to keto diets. And keto diets, I have my opinions on them, but at the same time, one of my best friends, Victor, he's keto. We have dramatically different diets, but that doesn't mean we don't respect each other. But seeing as keto is now trendy and veganism is no longer trendy, all these people are jumping off the bandwagon. And it's like, oh, well, if this was about the animals, or if this was about scientifically based health in the first place, maybe you wouldn't do that. The keto diet has been shown to help people drop weight, just like a raw vegan diet has, only it's a lot worse for your arteries. But guess what? People just seem to be jumping around to those things. So again, it's not my place to judge somebody else, and that's not what I'm trying to do, but I want you to think through things as a consumer and make decisions based on not what you're told, but kind of what's not purely visible, if that makes sense. You know, even for myself, I tell you all the time, when it comes to an acne product, or when it comes to does diet help acne, you know, are genetics related to acne, here's my experience and opinions. Please go research all of the references below and more for yourself. And I don't think that these girls, and I don't think that even myself and some other people like Shane Dawson and his Chuck E. Cheese pizza understand the influence that they have over how people live their lives and how we make decisions. And it is painful. So at the end of the day, I want you to be informed consumers. I want you to understand what you're putting in your body so that you can make the right choices for you. And again, if Jenny from the block were to say, I'm no longer vegan, of course it's sad, because that means hundreds of animals are going to die every year, and she probably won't be as healthy if you look at medical statistics. But she might not have 1 million+ people following her on social media who she might be giving unsubstantiated advice to, or letting down in the process. And it's like, there are so many other ways to go at health. And to ask your audience and to be open and transparent about that, instead of like, oh, made an oopsie and ooh, I better talk about this now. You know, I guess it's just a lesson on responsibility. That's how I feel. And when it comes down to it, I do want to talk about some of the vegan bloggers I love, because I kind of feel like, oh, these were two of the people who were raw vegan who I really respected, and now I kind of feel left in the dark. But when it comes down to it, I will leave a link below, a link to my channel page even, that shows you all the people that I'm subscribed to. Guess what? Not everyone I'm subscribed to is a vegan. Wow. But the people that I do really support, for instance, Happy Healthy Vegans, they're a couple who talks about vegan stuff. If you want the science of veganism, Mike the Vegan is amazing. If you want advice from a registered dietitian on nutrition and recipes, Sadia from Pick Up Limes, Limes, like a green lime. She's one of the best bloggers out there. She's super minimal. She's all about healthy living, and she approaches it in a way from a dietetics background that she understands eating disorders. She understands nutrition profiles. She happens to be vegan. Dr. Dre is a skincare expert who happens to be vegan and sometimes talks about what she eats. There's a girl named, I think it's Hyena Mania. I'm probably butchering her name, but she's an amazing vegan blogger. Lily Koi Hawaii used to be a raw vegan. She still lives on Hawaii and eats a whole plant-based food diet. Dr. Greger talks about the nutrition of foods. There are so many bloggers that I follow that I wish got more recognition. And I guess at this point where I'm feeling lost, I kind of want to share some of the people who I still look up to. You know, and I still look up to Raw Alignment and, you know, to Rawvana, but in a different way now. But I want to help to bring to light some of these other people who I think are deserving of recognition. Kate Fruit Flowers, I know that she has appeared in some of Alyse's videos. I think that she's still a raw vegan. Can somebody double check that, fact check that for me? But again, I will leave a link to some very deserving vegan channels below. Even if you're a guy, there's a guy named Brian who talks about vegan bodybuilding and weightlifting for men and acne on his vegan diet, which has been so cool. So At the end of the day, please be an informed consumer. If you want some videos on what I eat in a day, if you want the foods that I eat, or even to see what I ate in a day in Hawaii as a mainly raw vegan who still eats beans and tofu, I will link those videos to you right here so you can go check them out. And if I am missing any amazing vegan bloggers who I should follow, please comment below. But at the end of the day, veganism has changed my life, changed my skin, and seeing as I don't know where I fit into these communities, I feel that a lot of people, including myself, are hurt. And at the end of the day, you should be an informed consumer, should make responsible choices, and you should always do your homework. Don't take what any one person says for granted, and always ask what the motive is behind the action. I love you, beautiful butterflies. I hope you're having a great day, and I will see you in the next video. Love you guys. Bye.